Imagine a quiet day in your apartment, suddenly rocked by an explosion. Turning on the news, you find that 3 people were killed in the explosion. A tragedy. Tragedies that weren't uncommon in the IRA's fight for independence. Today, we will explore the motivations of the IRA. The origins of the IRA, otherwise known as the Irish Republican Army, go back to the early 20th century during the Irish War of Independence. Their goal was to end British rule in Ireland and to reunite it once again. But in 1969, the IRA's political attempts were too slow for some members, therefore leading to the formation of the Provisional IRA, or Provost for short. Ireland's divide wasn't merely political. Beyond the physical divide of the border between the Free State of Ireland and Northern Ireland, there was a social divide. Northern Ireland was under Britain's rule, as well as being largely Protestant. They were loyal to Britain, while the rest of Ireland wanted to be unified. This divide was the basis of conflict in the region. On January 30th, 1972, British paratroopers killed 13 unarmed Catholic protesters during a civil rights march. The event became known as Bloody Sunday. After Bloody Sunday, support for the IRA exploded and hundreds joined. The result of Bloody Sunday was creating hundreds of IRA fighters hungry for revenge against the British. Large events like Bloody Sunday were a major motivation. Each soldier had their own specific motivations. Some joined for personal or financial gain. Others joined because someone they knew had passed away or been abused by the British or Loyalists. Still others joined to protect their communities. Personal reasons like these were a common motivation amongst fighters. Although the lines are commonly drawn as being between Catholics and Protestants, the truth is that religion wasn't a primary motivator. While religion was a factor for the conflict itself, it wasn't a huge motivation for fighters. Other motivations, such as nationalist ideals of reunification, were a far larger factor. Another great motivator, greater than religion, was trauma. Irish citizens had experienced discrimination and abuse at the hands of the British and British loyalists for centuries. Seeking revenge or retribution for these abuses was a strong motivational factor for many Irish soldiers. Motivational factor more common to the IRA than any other terrorist organization is that of duty. This motivation is often overlooked with terrorist groups. However, members of the IRA felt a duty to their country or to their fallen brothers in arms. This sense of duty was further cultivated by the military-like structure of the IRA. Surprisingly, the IRA was actually given a seat at the negotiation table after years of attacks. While negotiating with terrorists is an unthinkable idea here in the United States, it was a good decision by the British, because today there is a lasting peace in Ireland unlike anything before, and the IRA is no longer active. It seems negotiating with terrorists should be considered as an option. Ultimately, the IRA's history and motivations for fighting force us to see that terrorism occurs not without reason. The IRA fought because of colonialism, discrimination, trauma, and to reunite the country. If we want to prevent terrorism, we must recognize that they are people fighting because they see it as their last hope. If we want to prevent terrorism, we must treat all people with dignity and respect.